last time on Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, we learned that everything was a lie. So let's go get a coffee. Alright, so yep, we know about the Star B system. Let's just make a dang coffee. So, as usual, I'm just gonna go to the second page to just ditch all of these beans. So many beans. Gotta be ditched. Alright, we made a coffee, so hey! How's it going? I see you're ready for Mario Kart, egad. I mean, sure, it's a good vehicle and all, but like, Drybone's got a tank, egad, come on. Look at him go. This coffee could kill me, here you go. I'm pretty sure we can legally sell this. Alright, what do we get? Hey, what a coincidence that he was writing something for this conversation, because we got the Excite Spring. This is one of the only items that actually keeps its name from what it was originally supposed to be, because it's an Excite Bite reference. I'm glad that, in the original version at least, a man just fucking rode into this coffee shop on a motorcycle. Alright, so the bonus ring is extremely broken. We'll see why soon. But it basically just, yeah, doubles your experience if you don't get hit in a fight, which, you know, I've kind of been doing that. Alright, so guess we should probably go see the Queen and the Princess. Guess we'll do plot. We have to. Don't jinx it. Why did you do that?
Wouldn't it be nice if we were safer? Then we wouldn't have to be attacked.
Look, it's fine. The witch recently died. I don't think the Bean Bean Kingdom has any other troubles plaguing it. We're good. Wait, so people immigrated here, and you just put their village on the other side of a desert filled with dangerous monsters?
Maybe they put their village there. Maybe the Toads, in order to get away from the horribly racist Bean Beans, the Toads had to move across the desert.
We live for the thrill.
I don't know if I want racism to exist in Mario.
Oh sure, just reply with violence, why don't you, Mario? Can't believe Luigi doesn't just want to casually take a stroll across the enemy-filled deserts. Well, we don't really have much else better to do, and got some time to kill, so looks like we're being pressed into this.
Man, we're gonna be really shocked when we find out this village is filled with anti-monarchist Toads. I mean, presumably that's why they left.
Got here to the Bean Bean Kingdom. Ah, jeez, they've got a queen.
Well,
nope.
That's also why they're, like, on the most remote part of the Bean Bean Kingdom.
Alright, let's just go to the fucking desert where we won't get bothered by the crown here.
Wait, hold on. These are just the fucking Catalonian anarchists, but Toads.
The desert is without law. That is where we shall be safe.
They live between the Bean Bean Kingdom and the Mushroom Kingdom, but they don't want to be Bean Bean, they don't want to be Mushroom.
Alright, so Tiki Valley is pretty easy to find. It's right up here. However, that's a great rock. We can't do anything about that because it's a super rock slide, not just a normal rock slide. That's the large boulder that's the size of a large boulder. Damn it. Alright, so we've got a little bit of time to kill and only one item to describe, so I guess we should talk about the plot thus far. Got any opinions on the matter? Because I could talk forever about it.
I really like this approach to JRPG storytelling, because normally in the JRPG you don't win until the final boss. And if you do win, it's like by the skin of your teeth. I think of like Two River and Suikoden. Like, you win there, but barely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even a real victory. You survive for another month or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then usually if you beat one villain, then the next super villain comes in, and they're the better villain. They've been behind everything all along. And, you know, again, to not play coy for a moment, Cackleta's not getting replaced by a bigger supervillain. Still Cackleta. Alright, back to playing coy. There are no more villains. But yeah, I am rather fond of the way the course this game's story takes. Oh, and gonna interrupt myself real quick here, because we've got a prize! Congratulations! This one's actually not half bad. We get the wool trousers, which I will say restores a little bit of HP each turn, which can be helpful. Decent defense on it as well. Anyway.
However, they have been stored in this apparently humid cave. So these weigh about like 20 pounds more than they should right now.
Ah yes, my weighted wool trousers. So I feel like one of the... maybe not like the reason, but like... this plotline is actually, I think, similar to why we kind of like Kamen Rider at times. Because sometimes the story just does shit.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the conflict actually just comes to a head before the end of the story, and they just sort of deal with that and the repercussions of it. Hey, we got Lackey without getting hit by a back attack.
You know, I don't want to spoil shows in particular, but I feel like I have to mention the end of Zero One's first arc felt like the end of the show as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Could have been in any other show. Or alternatively, they could have just, like, lagged the entire plot line so that that was the end. I'm glad that's not what they did, because it's way better just saying, alright, stuff happens, and you know what? It's all just going to happen now. The plotline won't just end because you had what seemed like a climactic fight.
I remember the episode before that first arc finished. It ended very, dramatically, and I said, well, there's still like 5 minutes left of this episode. And you said, there's still an entire series after this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe the best example, just in terms of like how, I don't know, final it feels, Kamen Rider Stronger. And I don't care about spoiling Showa because nothing happens in Showa even when stuff does happen. The empire that they set up to be the main villains get taken out 2/3 of the way through. And like, for real. Like, that also kind of happens in Amazon, but then it's revealed that the second group was in charge of the first group or something, and you probably have to talk about plot stuff.
It's just the Hammer Bros. They moved here. Quick note, though, you can come here a little bit earlier, of course, as soon as you have the Thunderbrand, you're able to access this area, but if you do, they just won't be here. That is, of course, to gate you off from having an upgraded hammer before you actually need to go to Tiki Valley.
But yeah. Kamen Rider... It feels like Kamen Rider doing that's kind of on a bell curve. Because early Heisei didn't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Showa did it from time to time. Especially Takahashi's series will do that. How many times did the main bad guy change in X8?
So many.
Remember when... Spoilers. Remember when Paruno was the main villain for like 3 episodes?
Surprise! You're actually supposed to like him. He's only, you know, a little bit evil.
He only killed gamers, and they deserve it.
So we've got a guessing game here, and normally this would be where I say, oh, I just loaded or I just like saved and loaded until I got this result. I actually did get this immediately, so lucky me. Your prizes can be nothing, money, or a scroll that teaches you a new brother's attack. We'll be seeing that later. But yeah, as we were able to see from the cave, we have super hammers and we can break gray rocks, but the black rocks, still unbreakable, so... Yeah, you probably could have figured, but there's one more hammer upgrade we've yet to get. But we can get into Tiki Valley at least, so good enough. Thank goodness it wasn't an ultra rock slide or we'd have to put off this trip. What would we do if we had to put this off? This looks like a place we want to be, right? Look, that's fucking Star Skeleton over there. A star died, as did a fish. Alright, let's just have ourselves a nice, pleasant walk through the deserts, just going on down to Little Fungi Town.
It's weird that it's not called Little Mushroom.
Oh, hey Toadsworth, how's it going? Oh, that seems bad. Oh, yep, okay. Yep, oh, got kidnapped. Okay. Alright, so, gonna get this out of the way now. This segment fucking sucks. I don't think anybody likes this. With good reason. So yeah, I feel like since the first half of the game was, hey, Princess Peach didn't actually get kidnapped, or, you know, wasn't even really in danger, now the joke is, hey, she's gonna get kidnapped every 10 seconds. But before we get further into that, it's the Gritty Goomba. He does this. You can tell who's attacking by his proximity. And then we have the Spiky Sniffets. Not particularly weak to electricity, but fire should do the trick. Alright, their attack pattern is a little complex in that if they spit immediately, they will actually launch a projectile that bounces, so that if you basically have like a split-second reaction and jump, you'll get hit. If they take a long time, though, you do have to jump over their projectile, which, no, isn't always a mushroom. And of course, depending on which arm they jiggle about, that's who they're attacking. Their right, or I guess the more upward positioned arm, is going for Mario, downward, going for Luigi. God, I always miss it, but at least I got a 69, you know. Didn't get up 5 stat, but, you know, got the second best thing, and nice! Nice! Good job, Luigi, you did it! This is the ultimate level.
Alright, plus 21 now.
So close. 69, 69, 69, the number of the nice beast.
Well, this is a family game, so if your stats all get to 69, the game deletes your save file.
Hey, that's not even on me. Alpha Dream, rather. Sorry, force of habit. Anyway. Oh no! They're trying to sacrifice Princess Peach! Get him! So we are going to show this battle because if you didn't notice the Gritty Goomba's damage animation, here it is in all its glory. I love it. But anyway, yeah, weird fucking thing about the Gritty Goombas. You might have noticed on the overworld, I didn't actually get a preemptive attack on them. I tried again and again and again, and I feel like this is an emulator issue, but I just can't get a preemptive strike on them. I mean, I could jump on them, except, you know, there's a spike, so you could probably figure out how that ends if you try to jump on them without a spiky badge, or spiny badge, rather, which, by the way, you should have after that last boss battle. And oh no! No! I'm gonna lose all the nice stats!
Immediately.
Yeah, that's why the bonus ring I got from the other coffee is actually pretty broken. Oh, and I didn't even mention what the Excite Spring does, but we'll get to that later, so I'll save it. But anyway, yeah, Gritty Goombas are weird. I could hit them when they were doing their, you know, little ritualistic dance to send Peach to the Shadow Realm or whatever. But, like, on the overworld, in the desert, I just can't hit them. It's like they have some sort of barrier that just protects them from hammer attacks. Anyway, here's the gimmick now that we've rescued Peach. She will travel through an area on a predetermined path. Like Toadsworth said, if you talk to her, or if she runs into an obstruction, she'll just turn around and go back the exact opposite way. If she gets too far off screen for long enough, she will get kidnapped and taken to the particular screen's yellow pipe. This one's right here. If an enemy touches her, she will also be kidnapped and taken to that yellow pipe. So, yeah, she gets kidnapped a whole lot. Now, pro tip, if you hate this segment because it is bad, before you rescue Peach that first time, just clear the desert of enemies. Like, just go through this whole place and just take everyone out. And then just rescue Peach and play through this without having to worry about enemies, because they kind of make it tedious. If I remember correctly, the gates don't actually stay open, so, like, you do have to solve puzzles while Peach is on screen, but, you know, without enemies, that's not difficult. Really, this segment is just about keeping up with Peach, figuring out what you're supposed to do on each screen, and once all of the enemies are gone, having Peach back up, then go forward, solving the small puzzle, and then you're done. It's actually really not that difficult, it's just tedious. Because let me tell you, this fight right here, the gritty guy and the spiky sniffets, this is like the most common encounter. The other encounter is like 2 gritty Goombas. It gets boring. Nice. And yeah, like, even if you're playing it correctly, it's just not fun. If you cheat the system and take enemies out early, it's still not fun. Like, I get the balance they were going for, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it works. Anyway, I decided here that the bonus ring was getting me too many levels, so let's get the Excite Spring. The Excite Spring gives you a couple extra, well, not even really a couple extra seconds of jump time. It gives you just an extra tiny bit of leeway during your jump dodges, so if you find you have a hard time getting timings down, the Excite Spring is actually really good. It might just be the adjustment you need.
It also plays Excite's OP. We're just talking about Kamen Rider now. Sorry.
Unfortunately, watching Princess Peach travel through the desert does not make me excited.
I wanna know. I don't want to know what the developers were thinking. I don't know why they thought this was fun.
But yeah, I suppose I should also mention the plot point of Princess Peach wasn't voice kidnapped at the start of the game. I don't know, I think it's pretty good. Maybe some people think it's cheap because, you know, there's quote-unquote no stakes because of it, except there are. Cackletta is still a problem, but I don't know. I've always just loved the
Fucking
fact
everyone in University died.
Yeah, she killed him.
No stakes, my ass. Nerds are so bad at knowing what stakes are.
But yeah, it's nice that they sort of avoided the usual thing with Princess Peach before delving right back into it for a gameplay segment right here. But it's kind of nice, and I'm gonna be honest, I do love the fact that, like, just the first half of the game is just the villains getting owned immediately. They don't even know it. You don't even know it. They fooled everyone.
It's me, Cackletta.
It was me all along.
Everyone
Gosh.
bought it. Even my own immediate family bought it.
Even Mario and Luigi bought it.
Oh god, I was gonna say something else. I made it the fucking wrestling reference and my mind got wiped.
Well, we are at the end of Tiki Valley. Can't go up this elevator, because only one person can. But yeah, that was actually pretty short, if a bit painful, and oh, of course. Anyway, Cackletta's dead, but I guess here's a rock monster. I guess this guy's just here. So yeah, if you try to come to Little Fungi Town early, by which I mean if you leave Princess Peach kidnapped in that one pipe, this rock monster is just going to be sleeping in front of the choke point here, so you can't get through or fight him. But now he's mad, so let's kill him. So this is Trunkl. Alright, so he's actually a 2-target boss, so maybe we should test Swing Brothers. Here we go. Oh no! I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the bros attack fail animations in this game are really good, but that's among one of my favorites, so I wanted to show it.
I love cartoon logic and things that aren't technically cartoons.
So yeah, that attack where he rolls his fists at you can actually kind of trip you up until you memorize, like, the way it tries to trip you up. You know, all of his attacks have a tail, so that's gonna curve. That's not gonna curve. You can tell once you actually know it's gonna happen. So, the second target, the tree, has a lot of defense, and in addition, resists jump attacks, so if you want to hit the fruits, use either Chopper Bros or Knockback Bros. However, I want to attack the main body because that will actually show like one of the gimmicks of the fight. And speaking of gimmicks, here's a rare gimmick. He will attempt to suck a whole lot of things into his mouth and heal. Of course, you have to jump over everything but the heal shrooms. You get damaged from the gritty Goombas and poisoned by the poison mushrooms. But fun fact, this is actually not exactly a scrap mechanic, but one that doesn't really feature a whole lot in this game. Every battle background that we've seen is actually larger than you normally see it. Like, they've got some pretty good length on them. So, they might have intended for backgrounds to be longer in this game normally and have more gimmicks like this, but only a few fights actually do that. So here's Swing Brothers. This is a really hard attack to land. You want to hold the A button down. The reticle gets faster and faster as it chooses targets until you get to this speed. You do not have a very large window of opportunity to use that. But yeah, it is, you know, relatively strong. I think it's a little too hard to use to really do much of anything, though. Like, Chopper Brothers is way easier to execute and probably does more damage anyway, so I suppose suppose I do not remember the advanced version of this technique off the top of my head, though, so maybe that one's really good. I will maybe have to get that later on. I just have to use Swing Brothers a lot, which, oh no.
What you were saying earlier about the backgrounds reminded me of when TV was a thing and it was at a different aspect ratio from cinemas, but all the cameras still recorded the same aspect ratio, so they recorded more than what you would see on the TV. And how when the switch to widescreen televisions and they became more commonplace, a lot of older TV shows, like, if you watch them in widescreen that they originally filmed in, you see a bunch of stuff you weren't supposed to see. Like the director just off camera telling people what to do.
It's also worth noting that the screen scroll gimmick was used a fair bit in Bowser's Inside Story. But that's a story for a different day. Next time on Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, it's onward to Little Fungi Town. And Peach probably won't get kidnapped this time.